It is Julianna Zobrist, and she joins us in studio. Julianna, how you
Hi,
doing?
so good. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. This is so fun. I know you guys have been doing a little bit of a media tour recently. Yesterday, the Today Show.
Yes, we did.
Which was really cool. How'd that go?
It was amazing. It was amazing. And today is the official release date, so we're here first.
Yeah, this is so cool. Well, thanks for dropping on by.
Yeah, of
I was
course.
talking to you before about the Today Show spot. You said because they had a live studio audience, it was comfortable for you.
Yes, I love that.
And that's ironic because I think most people would say, oh my gosh, that makes me nervous seeing all those faces.
Yeah, of course.
But your history is in front of crowds.
It is. Yeah, I adored it. I was a little bit nervous backstage, and then I walked out and everybody was there, and I was like, oh, good. I'm so happy. You're all here. I feel normal now. Yeah.
When did you begin your musical career? How young were you?
Well, I studied classical music for about 15 years as a child through high school, and then went to Belmont University to study music as well. And so I've been a writer my entire life, and so wrote music for about 6 years, and threw out a few of my own EPs and full-length albums, and then that writing just kind of bled into writing a book.
So you were never really nervous in front of crowds. You were always comfortable because you were a performer.
Yeah, always nervous before, but been loving the entertainment part of it. Yeah, and loving the crowd.
Isn't that a fun thing? Because I get that as well. People say, are you nervous talking on the radio? Are you nervous talking in front of people? I say, before the event, if it's a really big event, I'll get butterflies.
Yes.
But then the moment the microphone's in my hand, everything kind of seems to wash away. Same thing for you?
Yes, absolutely. And it's funny because in the book, I talk a lot about that. Those moments that you feel nervous, or the moments that you feel a little bit insecure, or you're maybe just even afraid, that those moments are your doors to exercise courage. That really you don't do anything courageous if there's not first a fear. Like literally, to be courageous is to assume fear is also present. And so when you cannot avoid those, or not, try and move away from your nervousness or from your fear, from your, insecurity, but you move through them and use them as a catalyst, then that's really where you get to exercise courage. You get the confidence that you're looking for, and really just autonomy.
Julianna Zobrist joins us in studio. The book is Pull It Off, and it is available everywhere books are sold today. It is released today. How has it been since the Cubs won the World Series with your husband, Ben? I mean, that is a life-altering event because of how long it had been for the Cubs. How was that to experience?
It was incredible, to say the least. I think my favorite part was just after the fact, hearing all of these stories of generations of people that had so longed for that day, and just the way that baseball in a weird way sort of unifies people and brings this camaraderie and unity and just fun and entertainment for people. So it was a real joy to get to hear all of those stories after.
Ben has been on different teams, and you guys have been together forever. I mean, for a really long time. You said you met in high school, right?
Yes, when I was a junior in high school, yes.
As a junior in high school, how old was he?
He was a freshman in college.
Okay.
So I was 16.
Okay. So sometimes the high schooler says, I'm not going to deal with the college guy right now. I got my own thing going on.
Right.
But you and him really had a connection, huh?
We had a connection, but you're right in saying that he asked for my number, and I was like, nah, not right now. so I always, never let him forget that I rejected him first. But yeah. So it wasn't until my sophomore year of college that we were officially together, but we were friends for a long time.
Gotcha. Well, Ben has played on a number of teams before. He's played on the Rays, he's played on the A's, the Royals, and then the Cubs. So to win a World Series, especially for a team that had gone 108 years, I mean, he had a lot of experiences in baseball, but that one must have been unbelievable. And then, of course, the Royals in 2015 as well.
Yes, absolutely. It was such a ride for our family. I mean, to win it once is extraordinary, but to win it twice the next year for a team that hadn't won in 108 years was truly magical.
I mean, and both those fan bases just had such an outpouring of emotion. I know I lived in Kansas City for a while. I have so many friends and family that are Kansas City Royals fans. That meant so much. And then, of course, the Cubs must have been just such a cool ride to go on with him.
Yes.
In this book, for you, as you said, it was about removing fear. And I kind of wonder in today's society if it becomes elevated because of social media, because everybody sees everybody else's experience, and it might make people feel like, oh, I need to have that experience. And so do you think that in kind of our modern world, there's more fear maybe than there ever was before?
Yes, I do think so. Maybe not than there ever was, but more than that we are so exposed to everybody's different ways of living and more for us to compare ourselves to. And I think one of the so much information, which is not in and of itself a bad thing at all, but when you're also being fed this message of fearlessness and just don't care what anybody thinks, well, that's when I feel like we get into so much trouble, and really where social media has become it's become hard where it doesn't have to be hard, because we're being fed, okay, be fearless, don't care what anybody else thinks, but then you're scrolling through hundreds of feeds all day. And so I think what's really important and what we address in the book is reframing the way that we look at fear, which is kind of what I was talking about before, reframing the way that you look at insecurity and actually using those moments to utilize your courage and to tap into your courage and exercise it really. And I say this all the time, but I really wish that I could work out just one time and never have to work out ever again. Like, that would be amazing. You do like a singular crunch and you're just done. 6-pack for life.
Mraz knows how that feels.
I mean,
exactly.
It would be incredible, but it doesn't work that way. And courage is exactly the same way. The part of the brain that it functions out of is called the subgenual anterior cingulate cortex. And that part of the brain functions more as a muscle than it does an organ, in so much as the more that you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. So whether you are a junior high girl that's sticking up for herself because if she's being bullied, or a middle-aged woman comparing herself to social media and wanting to make a change, or an elderly man that sees a house burning down and runs in to save, the neighbor's dog or whatever, those moments of courageousness, your brain doesn't know how to distinguish between them. It just sees a moment of fear and a moment of opportunity for courage. So I was so liberated to discover in my research for the book that it's actually something you can get better at. It's actually something you can train. And then back to social media, when you look at social media, it no longer has to be something you have to avoid or steer clear of, or, oh my word, just delete your account because I'm comparing myself like crazy. You can actually become more confident by utilizing your courage.
What was the name of the part of the brain that you said?
Subgenual anterior cingulate cortex.
That is amazing right there. That's the smartest thing anybody has ever said on this show.
I have to tell you, I love science. I always have. It's like a mutual science, music, love, which is very complex in my brain on a daily basis, yes.
Well, let me ask you, Julianna Zobrist joins us here in studio. Sports fans, Ben Zobrist is her husband, World Series MVP. I have to ask you, you are beautiful, you are talented, you seem to have a ton of confidence. Was there ever a time in your life when you were insecure when you were looking at people on social media or comparing yourself to friends or other people that you knew?
Yes, absolutely. And it's a daily battle for me. I don't think anyone is exempt from pain or from heartbreak. I don't think that insecurity knows what's in your pocketbook or what your face looks like. It's just something that we all deal with. There's a few conversations and stories that I share in the book. And one, namely, that I was a new mom and had, my 4-month-old little baby on my hip, and we were actually leaving my husband's first All-Star game. So new mom, super pumped. My husband's first All-Star game. We're getting on the elevator, and this woman, it was like midnight, because baseball lasts 1,000 hours. This woman leans over to my kid, and she starts going, "Oh, mommy, I should really be in bed," like talking to my son in a super passive aggressive way. And she was a mother talking to your son. She was a mom, I guess. I don't know.
Your son should be in bed.
Yeah, that I should really be in bed, mommy. You're so mean, mommy. I should really be in bed. Oh. And I went home to my husband because I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, you probably should be. I don't know what I'm doing. How do I have a kid? This is not normal. And so I told my husband that night, I'm like, maybe I should quit my job. Maybe I should quit traveling with you. Maybe I should quit going to these late games. Maybe I should. And I realized that what she was doing to me was such a classic offense, and one that often goes so unnoticed, is that she was shoulding on me. SHOULD.
We're going to spell that out for our listeners.
I'm going to, because when you say it fast, it's really fun.
Should.
And then I began in turn to should on myself about who I should be and who I wasn't, and who I should be for my kid and who I wasn't. And it was just a downward spiral. And so chapter 2 of the book is called Don't Should on me. And it's sort of this moment of freedom where you can just realize that we're all so different and we're all created to live differently and navigate life differently. That's why we can be educated, smart individuals that know what we think and why, and can truly just own our lives and stop letting people should all over us.
That's amazing. You are also a musician and entertainer, and we were discussing before, it's not really Christian EDM, it's really Christian pop, right?
Yeah, it's more pop. I mean, it's energetic and fun and weird sounds and all of the things I love.
But you would consider it more pop.
Yes, I think so. When you hear EDM, you have this certain connotation in your head, and it's not that.
Right. Yes. How is being part of the sorority of player wives? Because there must be a family and a bond of traveling and being all together. I wonder about that. How is that?
It's wonderful. I mean, those women are smart and they are highly independent and strong women. There may be, this sort of idea of what a baseball wife looks like or is, but they are truly some of the most intelligent women that I've ever met, because you just have to be so strong to be able to deal with the grueling schedule and being alone most of the time, and really managing your own life and career for most of us.
That's really interesting. You have to really be independent,
yes.
right? Because if you're not, I mean, your husband is gone for 7 months of the year. I mean, really, maybe even more. It's you report to spring training in late February, and you don't end until late September or late October.
Mid-October, yes.
And you're gone, and you're raising a family, and you're trying to travel, right? But you can't make every game and every road trip, can you?
No.
Your eyes
not when there's 162 games.
Oh,
no way.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when I was pregnant with our third, and we were in the playoff run with the Royals, and I could have gone into labor at any minute, and they're traveling all over the nation, and it's just a crazy ride, and I'm out to here, massive pregnant, can't fly commercially or anything. And the media was just having a heyday with like, what's Zobrist gonna do if his wife goes into labor? Don't let her go into labor. They're all freaking out. And I went on camera and I was like, listen, if I go into labor, there's nothing my husband can do. I got this. Like, just hit me a home run. Like, that's all I need. I don't need you to be there, because it really bears no difference. So, yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing. Yes. Yeah. All of the hopes and dreams are riding on your labor and what you can do for all these Royals fans. Please don't
go into labor. And I'm like, I'm good. He'll stay. Just hit me a home run.
Don't worry.
Win us a ring.
He's got this.
He's got this.
And I got this.
Yes. Yeah.
Would you have felt the same way on your first child?
Yes,
yeah?
I would have.
So you were able to handle that yourself. I got this.
Oh, yeah. I'm a face down, like just plunge through kind of girl.
Oh, that's amazing. That is so awesome.
It's just me. I don't know.
I love that. The book is Pull It Off, Removing Your Fears and Putting on Confidence by Julianna Zobrist. It's available everywhere. And the biggest reason you think that people should pick up this book, what do you think? What's the best message in this?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Well, that's the question I get asked all the time, is how do you pull it off? And so often I'll hear women say, either 12-year-old girls or like 82-year-old women, I could never pull that off. And my biggest question is, who's telling you that you can't? And 9 times out of 10, as I'm interviewing women for the book, there was never really an answer. It was always just simply, I don't know. So our biggest inhibitor sometimes to life is just simply ourselves and our belief in who we are. So I believe that when you hold on to your worth and your intrinsic value, then you can step out into the world in courage and in confidence.
Totally awesome message. I love that message. The book is Pull It Off, Removing Your Fears and Putting on Confidence. Julianna Zobrist joining us in studio. The book is available out there today everywhere for you guys. This was so much fun. Congratulations on this.
Thank you so much.
You have to come back and do this again. This was so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to.
Thank you so much. Julianna Zobrist joining us this morning on the show.